Welcome to the BCMA show, brought to you by our friends with Southern Sound Outfitters. We have a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be spotlighting a young artist out of San Antonio, Texas, and that's Mr. Trey Gonzalez. He's with us today, man. How's it going, Trey?
Doing good, man. Thank you so much for having me on the air.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have you on to hear your story and play your song. And obviously, you got a song that's on our top 40, man, right now. It's sitting at number 35 with Here I Am, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, we're going to start out with a little background of yourself, man. You grew up in San Antonio. Kind of talk to us about your early, your early journey as starting out as, musician and playing, and, what got you to where you are.
Oh, definitely. So I actually started out doing a lot of Christian stuff here in San Antonio. I got my first guitar, my steel string, when I was in high school. I went to an all-boys high school called Central Catholic High School, and I played in the choir. I played in a thing called Acts Retreats at my local parish. So I did a lot of praise and worship, and, I always loved country music, but I never thought that I had the voice for it. I kind of dabbled with it around when I was a sophomore in my high school days, and then, I really didn't touch it then. But when I got to my sophomore year of college, I had this wild idea of going to open mic nights. And I said, Trey, you've always wanted to do the country thing. And, now you're at a point in your life where you can. And so I went to my first open mic night at the Cove in San Antonio. I was very, very nervous. I had never sang in front of people like that. Leading praise and worship is a lot different than, performing. And so, but ever since then, I've been hooked, and I really kind of got the confidence in myself to say, hey, you know what, this is something you've always wanted to do since you were a kid, and it's not going to happen unless you make an honest effort. So let's go. So for about a year, I did open mic nights and whatnot, and I did videos on YouTube and whatnot. I really realized that in order to get myself more out there, I had to start to go and do more live shows that could kind of help fund some of the expenses of being a musician. So one summer, right before I did my senior year at St. Mary's University, I went to Michigan State University to go and conduct research, and I made enough money to buy all the equipment that I needed: a sound system, mains, monitors, subs. I got a mixer, and I got everything else that you could imagine. And then I finally put a band together, and then with some leftover money that I had, I was able to scrape up enough to make my debut album, The Journey. So I had a lot going on my senior year at St. Mary's, but I was really glad that it all worked out, and the university was really, really cool about helping me along the way. I actually did some of the demos in their studio there at the university, and I hosted my debut of the album debut party, at the pub at St. Mary's University. So they were really instrumental in having all this come together.
Wow. Well, how old are you, man, for the listeners that don't know?
Yeah, sure. I just turned 23 on January 20th, and I started when I was 22.
Wow.
So,
well,
21, 22.
Happy late birthday.
A lot's happened since then.
Happy late birthday,
thank you
man.
so much, man.
Well, man, that's
that.
You mentioned your debut album, The Journey, which it's rolling on its own birthday at about a year now. And in January last year you released it, and 8 songs. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, you mentioned how you produced it and stuff, and you kind of had the journey of where you got all your support and stuff. But the songs on here, is that stuff that since it's your debut album, I always ask, is that stuff that you had, for years, maybe a few songs, and then you kind of, or is this all stuff that you just kind of put together within that year before?
It was the year before. I actually wrote my first song ever, between October and November of 2017. And for a solid year, I probably wrote a solid 25 to 30 songs. And it was all really new to me, so I was doing the best that I could. And then I cut it down to 8. And the cool thing about The Journey and I let people know this when they have the time to talk to me about it, is that the journey is a really artistic thing, and when you listen to it in order, it tells the story or the journey of yours truly when it comes to some of the experiences I had in life. So that's the kind of the cool spin on the album when you listen to it in order.
So you're obviously, I mean, you're a young guy, 90s baby, such as myself. What was some of your musical influences growing up in that area? Whether it was Texas singers or any genre, what was some of the artists and music you listened to growing up?
It's funny that you say that and ask that question, because there's something that actually goes into the album about that. I got my start or experience with country music when I was sitting in my dad's truck. I was a kid, about kindergarten is when you're starting to remember stuff. And that's when Alan Jackson's Drive album came out. And around the same time, George Strait's The Road Less Traveled album came out. And those are the things that I really remembered about country music. And ever since then, I was listening to them. I was singing along with them since I was a kid. And the cool part is that F-150 Ride kind of contributes to the album about how I got my start with country music and all the cool adventures that I think a young high schooler goes through when they get their truck and learn how to drive and whatnot.
Well, that's a great little insight, man. It's a good song, man, on the album F-150 Ride. It kind of we're getting the insight here about the music, and he mentioned how it kind of tells his story. So there you go, and it's a good thing that most debut albums, they kind of give you a chance to tell your story on a lot of different levels with each song, especially when you write it and produce it as you did yourself and record it and all. So what song off the album would you say means the most to you? It might not even be one that took off a lot with fans or whatnot, but what's one that's truly, just your favorite, in writing or even recording or singing?
So singing live, my favorite is F-150 Ride, because I got my truck from my dad with 172,000 miles on it, and it currently has 229. And that thing has taken me from high school to my undergrad time to my graduate experience now, and I'm going all over Texas performing. So there's a lot of sentimental value to that, and it still is a part of my journey as I'm kind of coming up. But I would say that the most fun one that I had writing was Here I Am, because that was such a really emotional time in my life. I'd gone kind of through a nasty breakup, the first heartbreak, and I was at Cowboys Dance Hall in San Antonio one night, and I didn't expect to run into this girl. And it was an early night. It was about 9:15, 9:30, and it was still kind of a sensitive thing. I said, "Hey, it's time to go home, Trey." I'll never forget, I was sitting at my dinner table, and I was laughing. I said, if I'm going to get over this, I might as well write about it, let it out and whatnot. And the lyric of "Here I am doing what I can to get you off my mind" came to me. And at that moment, I was able to write the song within 20 minutes.
Wow.
So that was the most meaningful song to me. And it was a song that I really wanted people to vibe on in a live setting. It's not one of those rocking out songs. It's kind of something that you really just kind of kick back and relate to. And that was the goal for that. I wanted it to be something that people could just enjoy in the moment as if they were, one day in an arena, hopefully listening to this and just thinking back and then kind of letting go at the same time.
We're here with Trey Gonzalez, and we're here talking. He's mentioning about his song "Here I Am," and now that meant a lot to him, and it's definitely showing the success, man. It's on Texas Country Radio right now on the Texas Music Chart at number 48. It's number 35 on our Bayou Country Music Association Spotify chart, and it seems to be doing very well with the audience and people around that just listening to them, whether it's radio or streaming on Spotify. So that's pretty cool to have that song mean the most to you and have it do so well. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll tell you this: I was was really concerned about releasing it as the first single because, when you listen to it, it's definitely a little bit more of a modern, country sound. I said, I hope people like this, but it meant so much to me. I said, man, I think if the lyrics speak for themselves, and hopefully I can kind of try to relate to people, and maybe it'll hit. So it did really, really well, and I'm really blessed and happy with how it's turned out.
We have the song here we're going to play for the listeners, and we're going to come back with Trey and talk a little bit more about the rest of the album and some of his tour dates he got coming and all that good stuff. So, Trey, I'm going to let you introduce it, and then we're going to play it for everybody.
Sounds good. This is Here I Am off of my debut album, Journey.
Dance hall, neon lights, you stepping my heart out. I'm missing you. The beer and whiskey bring out the person I once was with you. And I guess I can't outrun the truth behind me and you. So here I am, doing what I can to get you off my mind. Holding a stranger to drown out our old flame and try to numb all the pain. And here I am in a pair of arms I don't belong in, just getting through the night and smiling to the sunrise, but knowing that it ain't right. So here I am. Yeah, easy come, easy go, ain't how our story goes, not at all. The back and forth, truth and lies, the temporary goodbyes until now. And I can't outrun the thought of you, but still I'm gonna try to. So here I am, doing what I can to get you off my mind. Holding a stranger to drown out our old flame and try to numb all the pain. And here I am in a pair of arms I don't belong in, just getting through the night and smiling to the sunrise, knowing that it ain't right. So here I am. Stranger to drown out our old flame and try to numb all the pain. And here I am in a pair of arms I don't belong in, just getting through the night, smiling to the sunrise, knowing that it ain't right. So here I am. Damn it, here I am.
And that is Here I Am by Trey Gonzalez. We are here talking with Trey about his current album out, and that song that we just played. And Trey is a college student at Texas A&M. He's an Aggie, actually going for his degree in psychology, which is pretty impressive, man. So you commute between music and college.
Yes, sir. Every other weekend I'm playing in San Antonio and the surrounding area. I'll take off from College Station on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I'm in San Antonio at 6. I hit the gym at St. Mary's, come home, rest up, do some more work on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, I'm hitting it hard.
Well, that's pretty impressive, man. That's something that pretty unique, man. I don't know many up and coming artists that are like pursuing such a major degree such as that and shuffling both sides of music and career. So that's a pretty awesome feat to do, man. So we definitely give you props for that.
Appreciate it.
So, I mean, you mentioned you're from San Antonio and you play around that areas, and you go to A&M at College Station, and you're a Texas born and raised. We love the Texas country music scene. We're proud members of the Texas Country Music Association. We have so many, friends and connections in that state, and it's an awesome place for country music, and it's really a unique place too. And I always say that, and when I talk about it, it's it's its own little bubble, and it produces so many great artists and musicians, and it's like a family type atmosphere, man. So I'll give you a chance as an up and comer. I always ask, what is some of the idols and role models that you have that are in the Texas country music scene that you look up to and say, wow, these guys have been paving and grinding for years, and this is who I inspired to.
No, the cool thing about the journey is right when I started going to open mics, I saw Aaron Watson at Flora's Country Store in Helotes, Texas. I didn't know much about Texas country. I really wasn't introduced to it. When you're in a college setting, sometimes you kind of get fixed on what's going on in the books and whatnot. But my friend said, hey, man, I know you're going through a rough time right now. Let's go see Aaron Watson. Who's Aaron Watson? And he said, oh, you ever heard of That Look? And I said, oh, yeah, I've heard that song. And I saw Aaron, and he gave me a pick. I still have that pick. And there was this smile, man, of like sincere support, like you said, like it was a family experience. It wasn't just a show; it was like a time for everyone to get to know each other. And the cool thing is, I recently saw Aaron last week at Hurricane Harry's, and I was standing in the front row, and I was singing along with him. And afterwards, he said, "Hey, I want to thank you." I said, "No, Aaron, I want to thank you." And I gave him my album, and I said, "You contributed to this." And he said, "I appreciate that, Trey. I'm going to give it a listen." So hopefully next time I see him, he likes it. But of course, Aaron Watson's one guy. And of course, you have to look at Cody Johnson. Cody's energy, his ability to entertain, and I call him a high flyer because you can see him.
He almost reminds me. He almost reminds me as a mix between George Strait and Garth Brooks. The way he entertains, but he's got that clean cowboy look, and he's a heck of an entertainer, man. But I'll let you continue to mention.
Yeah. I saw Cody at an album release party at Cowboy Dance Hall when Gotta Be Me came out. I believe that was the album that came out.
Yeah.
And he was all over the stage, and I saw that, and I just saw this charisma. I said, Trey, you got to be something like that one day. Not because you want to copy him, but it's just like when you have that kind of energy on stage, people have fun. People know how to relate to you. And when you got the right music and the right lyrics, it is a family experience, and you're sharing a moment together. So, Cody, Aaron, and I recently saw Randall King. Randall and I message each other every now and then. I got questions for him when it comes to touring or how to manage his finances and whatnot. Seeing those guys and how they're developing shows me that there's room for a traditional cowboy, but there's also room for a cowboy with a little edge, with a little grit, with a little bit of how do I say this? You know what? I don't want to say
a little bit of edge, a little bit of. They can sit and sing the cowboy songs, but you could also rock out on stage. I totally understand what you mean, man. And those are some great names you mentioned. I mean, Aaron Watson, just on my level, is a legend. He's been doing it for decades. And then you mentioned Cody. I mean, Cody's been able to do things as an independent artist that are a record break. You talk about him selling out the Houston rodeo over the likes of Blake Shelton and others. That's incredible feat to do as an independent artist, and much deserved. I mean, he's a great guy. You mentioned Randall. Randall's I classify him in the list of artists up and coming out. I say up and coming. They're on that next level, just below Cody and him. That's him, Josh Ward, and we actually had Randall on the show a while back, man. And he's such a smart guy, nice guy. He's very talented with music and all that. So definitely somebody to mold after, And so it's just the list goes on, man. And funny thing we mentioned about the family type atmosphere. Whenever we had Randall on the show, we were kind of talking about the brotherhood he has with all the guys he plays with, and Josh Ward and all these guys, Cody and I just mentioned something about like friendly competition, man, and he's like, no, those guys are my brothers. That's my family. We don't look at each other like I'm the best, and that really spoke to me about the entire family atmosphere that these guys like support so much. And you see guys and girls, and in the Texas scene, and they wearing, they represent each other with different merchandise shirts, and wearing on stage, and you don't see that at other places, really, man. And that's what's so awesome about it.
I was at the Texas Music Pickers concluding night when we were at the Tap, and I saw Hayden Haddock. I ran into Hayden Haddock at the Guitar Center in College Station, and he was behind the mic, and I said, "Oh, you look familiar, man. I haven't seen you before." And I said, "Oh, good start too." He's like, "I think you look familiar too." And saw him finally at the Tap, and we ended up meeting up at LSA Burger Joint in Denton because we were doing the Real Texas Radio live music show, and we were sitting there talking about gear, talking about performances and whatnot. And like you said, it's not friendly competition. It's more of we're making each other better, and we're supporting each other along the way. And what's really cool is Hayden said, "Hey man, I'm not feeling too well. You gave me an opportunity for a gig last time. I know I couldn't make it, but I'm supposed to be in San Antonio. Why don't you take the gig?" And it's those things like that where you know that at the end of the day, it really is about the experience. And somebody's always going to lead the herd. That's just the natural sociology of human beings. But I think in the Texas scene, there's nothing wrong with how that's going. We're just learning from one another and trying to be the best that we can be. Hopefully, we all make it to the top in some form or fashion, even if it's just for a second.
Yeah, and it's really just a great thing for the genre, man. I mean, to have so many talented artists that are mingling and intertwining and producing great music and putting music out there and just supporting each other. Just it's better for the entire music industry as a whole, in my opinion.
I really do agree.
So, man, let's talk about the future. What you got going this year? Obviously, you're touring and you're playing as much as you can whenever you get out of college. You just mentioned you got some shows coming up. The 22nd of February, the Whiskey Tango Bar. The 23rd, I see 4-Star Concert Hall and Sidebar. Just all these shows you got coming up, which you guys and gals can check out on his website, TreyGonzalezMusic.com. Click on the little tour tab, and it'll show you all the dates and stuff. So, what's one of the shows you're really looking forward to, man?
I'm gonna say I got 3 big shows coming up, and it's a really proud moment for me because I've been laboring away at this for a little bit over a year now. And so I'll be playing the Well San Antonio, which is one of the new dance halls in the city, on March 16th. And then April 20th, man, I'm going to be out at Lukenbach, Texas. And the cool thing is, I ain't never been to Lukenbach, Texas. And they would always see people post, who'd you see at Lukenbach? Who'd you see at Lukenbach? And I was like, I haven't been to Lukenbach, Texas. But I'm going to see Trey Gonzalez perform. And the Trey Gonzalez in 5 years is the guy that I want to be. He's looking like a big Texas country singer one day. And last, certainly most not least, I'm going to be playing my first rodeo at a Tejas Rodeo Company on May 25th. And I'm really excited for that. All big dance hall shows, all large crowd shows, and it's full band. And we're going, big sound, 5-piece, maybe 6-piece. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to it. But leaving aside the shows, we're already working on the second album. It's going to be called College Town, Texas. For all you people out there that are living in a small town, college town, having a good time, making that 4-year plan a 5-year plan, because y'all are enjoying Texas country music a lot. So we're hoping that the album's going to, be released sometime next year in 2020. All goes well, God willing. And, we're finally going to break down and hopefully get a touring van eventually. So we're working that as well. So we got a lot of big things coming up. We're really, really excited, and we can't wait to see all the friends we're going to make and all the people we're going to meet.
Well, that's great news, man. That's awesome. I'm excited for you. It sounds like you got a lot of great things on the horizon for this year. And all that hard work you put in, and it's going to pay off, and it is paying off. And so that's great to hear, man. To have so much great things on the horizon and coming up. And you mentioned you're already working on the second album, and that work mentality, man. And just it's a great thing to have, and nothing but success can come from it. And you mentioned God willing, but it is a lot of God's ability and God's grace to help out. But man, you got a lot going great for you, man, and I think it's a testament to your journey and just you as a person.
Thank you so much. There was a quote that always kind of hit me. I come from a hard-working family, man. One of the cool things about my family journey, my grandfather was an immigrant from Mexico. Came to the United States and actually started his own business selling cowhides. He did really, really well at that. And it's because of his hard work that I'm able to work hard in a different way. And he looked at me and told me one day, pray as if everything is up to God. And then, Trey, you got to work like if everything is up to you. So I took that to heart. And
that's a good, that's awesome.
Places.
That's awesome.
Good hard work.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's something that, is a testament to yourself and your success, man. And I believe you have strong faith and a strong work ethic, and the sky's the limit,
Definitely.
Well, man, I mean, we really appreciate you coming on and talking with us and telling us a little bit about your background and about your music you got, and then also, of course, your future plans, man. And it sounds like you're on the right track. Again, everybody, you don't want to miss any of the shows or any of the music or anything like that. Go to TreyGonzalezMusic.com and you could keep up with all that, and of course follow him on all his social medias. And that'd probably be the best way to keep up with you. Which social media would you say you use the most, or is it just kind of a even amount?
It's an even amount. I'm posting. Anytime something goes on one, it's going on every single one.
Oh.
So whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you can definitely find me there. But occasionally I'll post to Snapchat. You can follow me at tag20. That's a little bit different, but you will, trust me, if you're paying attention, you will see it numerous times.
Well, there you go, folks. You can follow him on all social media platforms, and you'll get all the news and all the updates, man. So we also, of course, want to thank our friends and partners that help us do what we do. Southern Sound Outfitters, great organization. They support a lot of up-and-coming artists in Texas and all over, Oklahoma, Louisiana, everywhere. So go to southernsounoutfitters.com, support those guys, get a shirt, a hat, just something. They got some great merchandise, and let them know that we sent y'all their way. Also want to thank a new partnership with Damn It Boy Products. check them out. DamnItBoyProducts.com. It's a cool story of how they started, and they got some cool merchandise and stuff. Check them out. Of course, we got to thank all the music people and organizations that are kind of helped us along the way, and that's Red Barn Music out of Louisiana. Great roster of artists they got up and coming and doing big things. Of course, Blue Lark Entertainment, In Tune Entertainment, Gravel Road Management. The list goes on and on. You can check out all of our friends and partners at our website, BayouCountryMusic.com. You click on that little friends and sponsor thing, and you will see all of these names. If I mentioned anyone didn't make this cut, you can find all of that on our website, as well as our BCMA Top 40 Spotify chart, which Trey's song is holding strong at 35. Check out his song and all the rest on our website, and you can check out everything else, such as this podcast and everything that has anything to do with BCMA. You check all that out at our website, www.BayouCountryMusic.com. And man, we just had a great conversation with Trey. We really appreciate you coming on, man. And I'll let you say any goodbyes or thank yous that you want to say, man, before we take it out.
Well, thank you so much, man. God bless you, and as always, gig 'em, and we look forward to what's to come. Y'all take care.
Awesome. Well, until next time, you guys have a blessed day.